This is a total heavy blow to the Nigerians and the enemies of Biafrans. Believe that. Biafrans, this is a very successful trial indeed. Biafrans, if you really want to know exactly what that is happening in Finland court, then this video is for you. Both the winning strategy, the court rulings, and those causing chaos. Biafran nation has gone globally. Our international technical law expert deserved award from the Biafrans after this court case. Dr. Matsanga, you will surely make heaven. You are a brave man indeed. This video is quite a bit long, so I'm urging you to watch this video to the very end of it so that you won't miss anything in this video. Don't forget to share while watching this video. Biafrans, like I always said, be rest assured that after the end of the tunnel, victory is ours. No doubt, believe me.
Every government responsibility is to first of all rescue and stand for her citizens. Yes. And then we, the indigenous people of, Biafra, indigenous people of Biafra, and then standing as the United States of Biafra, or Biafrans as a whole, as general. We have been fighting because we have been, anybody that knows the history of Biafra know that we have tried before to stay on our own based on the execution, killings, atrocities that was going on in Nigeria against us. Yeah. And we will not give up. The same way that the Finland didn't give up when they were fighting to separate from Russia. Yes. The same thing, we are not going to back off no matter how long it takes. And finding someone who stand boldly and be demanding and crying and weeping and motivating, encouraging Biafrans and say, no matter the persecution, no matter the massacring, no matter the what, we will stand on our own. Yes. And then his voice, the Finland, is trying to silence his voice. That's why we are here to show solidarity. Yes. First of all, to show solidarity, and then also to plead with Finland to release him. For us, let us continue what we are doing. What we are just wanting is just our freedom. Every human being have the right to live and have the right to. He is our spokesperson. Thank you.
Big highness. I do not do anything. My hair, my going to call here. You couldn't. Mountain can have the cause on the more power. And the forces are Nigerian. I don't know if they will grab the green years or something. I can mention the Biafra. Yes. Only one man that now behind now of Buzirezi. The truth is global. Yes. The truth up. Yes. So and we are going to win this. Amen. According to one one, please. Okay, Dr. Thank you. We love 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 you. Here 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 we love you. Thank you, sir. Call you again. It happened
I just want to get evidence of what is happening.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from this great hotel in Helsinki, where I've been for the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks or so, and it looks like I'll be here from behind the technical line and making sure that what I got involved in, I must finish it. As an African, I believe every African everywhere on planet Earth has a right to exist. Everyone, even any African, any human being, that's what my heart is. That's why I studied international law. That's why I went into to study to find out what it means by having an international law in Europe. I've stayed in Europe for the last 41 years in the United Kingdom. I've never seen this type of life. I've never seen this type of cases. A case of this nature can only be verifiable with evidence, not fact, not sexed, not doctored, not dossiers, not hearsay, not placing the suspect at the scene, imaginary placing of a suspect at the scene, not bringing people who have never been with the suspect at the scene, but hearsay. This is why I am here. I am an advocate for the voiceless. I do my work voluntarily. I've spent money here to stay in this place. I'm not asking for anybody to pay for my stay. In Netherlands or in Finland, you are not prohibited. And I'm not prohibited to come to Finland. I'm not sitting back in my home and thinking of what is going on. I see some people, malcontents, some people trying to ask me questions. Someone trying to tell you, why are you defending Simon? Simon is a human being. Simon is a Biafran, like you people. Whatever differences you have with Simon or Nnamdi Kanu, wait. When they come out, you can sort it out with them. And that is why I am here, to clarify and make matters very clear. That my role right now, don't ask me side shows. Don't ask me silly, stupid questions that I don't want to know. When I come out with the report, which I post on my X account, I have corroborated it with the lawyer. And I am in touch with the lawyer on a almost daily basis. When he has time and is not tired, we are working together. I talk to him how far we can go. I've done my best. I submitted all what I know about. I'm not in the court. He is the only person in the court to present in Haiti, and I'm in Helsinki as a backup officer, a backup behind the scene. If there's anything that they want to know, I will put it through. I have sat down, I've listened to the evidence of the prostitution for the last 2 weeks. I've looked at the evidence that was brought. Some of you have not seen the in-camera evidence or the so-called classified, which I don't need to discuss at this time of anybody, because the court has put a gag on it. We shall not discuss classified material, so-called, which they say classified, which looks not even if classified, but looked sexed, doctored to term them classified. You know, the classification is only protecting the guys that who came to tell lies. There's nothing in the reports that I see. I can't say anything beyond that. But I will tell, as a public voice for the people, I want the people of Biafra, I want the people of Africa to listen to me. I want them to know and put on the record and take this step and keep it for record. That this is not the final stages. Whatever happens in Finland here is just the beginning of a dance, a very serious dance. We have 27 other law judges in Strasbourg, in Paris, waiting in France. Don't worry. If the judge here does not see the signal, why this man, this Ugandan guy is in here, I'm just a dangerous able man waiting, listening to where he's making mistakes. And that is very good for me. It is better for me publicly. Cases are not won. And I want to tell people here to listen. If you are a grave digger, dig a grave. Don't try to be an architect, to build a house, to draw a building, and which a house can kill people. Don't try to be a pilot when you can't fly a plane. Stick to what you know. And that is what should happen to people here. We go and make stories, write stories. This is not a laughing matter. We didn't come here for a wedding. I'm not at a wedding ceremony. I'm here to liberate a soul, a man who stood up to say, my people are being killed. Who stood up and said, the Nigerian army is brutalizing my people. Questions can be asked as the war ended. This man never he found the war there. How far did Finland go to find whether the war was there or not? Where did Finland notify the European courts or European authorities that there is a war in southeastern Nigeria? When? From 2016, ladies and gentlemen, I have been on this case. Simon Ekpa was nowhere to be seen. There was no Simon Ekpa. It was, violence was there. Violence has been in that place. People were being butchered by Buhari. Simon Ekpa was not the one who started the butchery. This is the Nigerian army itself, and let President Stamp, Alexander Stamp, sir, listen to me. Nigerian army itself, I'm not from Biafra. I'm a Ugandan. I am one of those who put my television station free of charge from 2016 to date to say I will fight for these people, because young men were being killed by Nigerian army. By General Musa and other generals who were there, whom Buhari's hatred for the Igbo is well known. Buhari's hatred for Christians is well known. The late Buhari started this war, sent the army, instead of the army looking for the people in the north, in the Maiduguri area, in the northeastern, in the north, who were killing, abducting Boko Haram. He sent army to go and kill the Igbos of the south because he hates them. That is what the courts in Finland should know. I am doing this as a public prosecutor. I'm public. I'm a prosecutor, a defense prosecutor for the voiceless. Pick whatever you want. If you want to listen, listen. But I'm for Simon from 2016. He never incited them. He never. They have been killing from 2016. The Finnish court must find out who was killing people before. If they were there, did they see anybody? Did they report? Did they see Simon there on the ground commanding people? No. These groups are groups that were formed partly by the government. As we see right now, Malami also charged with an offense of terrorism. A whole Attorney General who prepared the sheets that the president, the court is using and the prosecution is using were prepared by the Attorney General Malami, who is himself charged for terrorism offenses. Ladies and gentlemen, doesn't it sound to you that this case is just bad? Let me keep the word. It's just bad. A case of commercial interests, political interests versus legal interests. There's nothing that we want to gain out of this or accept commercial interests. Either Finland is trying to get something or has been promised something. We shall see as we go. Point number 2, I told you there are 4 points that I would attack this case and leave it for the judgment. Whether the appeal stands or not, we shall go ahead. We have to clean the name. Finland has to tell people that it really observed European standards of intelligence gathering. Point number 2, was every constituent element proved? All the things that they said. It was not enough to establish that Simon Ekpa had a large social media following, supported Biafran independence, or the violence occurred in Nigeria. It's not enough just to establish that. No, you have to go further. There must be a legally sufficient evidential chain connecting Simon Ekpa, the specific conduct of Simon Ekpa, the statutory offense of against Simon Ekpa, the required terrorist intent. You measure it. How do you measure it? The knowledge of resulting in criminal liability. How? Who has measured it? Who measured it? Can't just, because I'm talking on internet, you measure me as a terrorist? How? How? Why did you allow a terrorist filing to arrive in your court? Mr. Malami himself was connected with terrorism. Mr. Musa himself directed the army to go to Southeast from 2016 with Buhari. And another general who left before Musa came in. They directed to kill people in Southeast. Not Simon. Simon was not there. In fact, my television was the one showing how people in Southeast were being bundled, younger men tied behind, rolled in mud, pulled by cars. Those pictures are there in 2016, 17, 18, 20. Seriously, how could you do this to the world? So the Finnish court said Simon reportedly used social media to influence, encourage criminal conduct, and he participated in a movement seeking Biafran independence through force. Who is the complainant in here? Who is the complainant? Is it Nigerian government? Where's Nigerian government in this? Why didn't they come up to say? Is it the Finnish government that is complaining that something is happening in Nigeria, or were there Finnish nationals being killed in Finland? Where? Nigerian government, if it was the one complaining, should have come in court and state how his broadcasts were making people to be killed. None of that evidence appeared. My critical question for the appeal, therefore, the question is therefore whether those findings are supported by admissible evidence sufficient to establish each element of each offense, rather than by inference, English language, inference built on general political context. This is it. There's no case here. It's inference. He was speaking about Boko Haram. Therefore, it must be Boko Haram. Excuse me? No. He was speaking about Hamas. How Hamas was fighting Israel. That's not enough. How does it harm you in Finland when the people themselves who claim that there was something in did not turn up? They came and created the center of the theater of absurdity. The fourth strand I will attack this case, which we must, as defense man for the voiceless. And behind the scenes, I'm here. This is particularly important, where evidence originated in Nigeria or through intelligence system, fake intelligence systems corrupted, infiltrated by Boko Haram terrorists, as I've told you about Abubakar Malami and a woman by name Ojuku, who herself hates every Biafran, who came to Biafra to Finland several times with a plane twice, with the then Minister of Interior wanting to airlift Mr. Simon. That is, for Finland might have thought that if people are stupid, they didn't see. No, we knew. I personally knew. We knew what you were doing. And that's why I went to the European Court of Human Rights. And I want to thank the people who called me and said there is an alert here. I will mention them at a later stage to shame all the devils that have been talking too much over doing nothing. People have sacrificed, some of us have sacrificed our own little resources to make sure that we stop an abduction and a renditioning like what happened to Namdi Khan in the Kenyan case. My critical question of the appeal, therefore, is the findings, are they supported, admissible evidence, with admissible evidence? No. Sufficient to establish each element of this offense? No. Or just inference because there's fighting in Nigeria, therefore everybody was a terrorist. Or if someone is already talking about it, is a terrorist. Inference. Number 3. Those are 2. The third one, and I mark it very clearly, was the evidence properly tested. I told you I'm going for process. Don't touch the main plank. Because if this is bad, then the main plank is bad. That's all. That's a strategy. Lawyer, it's a strategy. This plank is dirty, rotten. The other one is gone. Finito. Finito. If the procedure was wrong in collection of evidence, material, then the case was wrong. This is particularly important where evidence originated from Nigeria. I still contend, and I want to tell you as Dr. David Matsanga, that during that trial, the defense reportedly raised the concerns, and I've quoted, I don't want to quote long things because it's very long here. The defense quoted so many things. It said it raised, where is this evidence coming from? The reliability of information originating from Nigeria, while the prosecution acknowledged difficulties in obtaining detailed information about the alleged acts occurring in Africa, and Nigeria in particular. My question as Dr. David Matsanga would be the following, that floors the prosecution to the grave. Does this automatically make Nigeria's evidence inadmissible? The answer is yes. Does it make Nigeria's evidence unreliable? The answer is yes. But as Dr. David Matsanga, myself, I submit, and I would ask the court, if I were the one on the floor, who generated the intelligence? Who was its original source? What was its original source? Was the source identifiable? Hello? Are you there, you court, the court? Was the public court, are you listening to me? Who generated the intelligence? It's the Nigerian government and some malcontents around the so-called international agents wasting people's money and per diem. What was its original source?
Where is the original source? Was there anybody in Finland recruited into Mr. Where? Anybody who has been recruited in Finland? The people that claim to have been recruited were released. So there was nobody in Finland who was recruited, who was fighting the Finnish government. In fact, the Finnish government is doing a bidding for somebody they don't know. They don't know. Whom we have been waiting. Most of you who are English literature readers called Godot. Godot. Waiting. We are still waiting for this imaginary person in Nigeria who can't come and tell us where did he get this evidence? What was the source? Identifiable? You can't go to this institute in Senegal, in Dakar, useless. There's a Yoruba man there who hates Igbo. Let the court know that Yoruba man, a professor, I always quarrel with him every day on TV and the television station whenever they bring us together. He hates Igbo. He was the one doctoring, writing these reports paid by Nigerian government to run down. We know you. I will not disclose his name because the court has cut off. But I want to say the truth about this. Was the information independently corroborated? These are the questions I would ask. And I'm asking now. Was it a hearsay or second-hand intelligence from people who had no visas, who had never seen Simon? Never. They never even worked with him. They don't know how he looked. They are looking at him in court today. Was the material disclosed sufficiently early? No. Were translations accurate? No. Even the machines collapsed. Here, the computer, we couldn't hear. We have, some of us have we have bought machines that translate. They are here in my room right now, but they're in the box because I'm talking. They're in my briefcase here. I would translate whatever you are talking in the court. Where translation is accurate? No. Was potentially exculpatory material disclosed? Where is it? Where? Any amount of money that was caught? How much? Any exhibit that we have here? Do you have any dollars or euros that were captured in transit? Did the court rely upon material that the defense could not meaningfully challenge? Yes. It relied on fake intelligence from Nigerians who have abandoned the court. So the question goes directly to Article 6 of the European Court of Human Rights in the court, which this case will end. It will land. I will take it. If nobody wants to take it, I'll take it there. The convention requires a fair public hearing before an independent and impartial tribunal. This court did not give Simon the independent impartial tribunal. A stamp in your passport. How did you meet the suspect? You heard about him? How did you know it was him? How? How did you know that the suspect, the man standing there, was him? Could be a robot. He could be a robot switched on to talk. It's not him. There is no evidence I've seen from the communications systems of this country called Finland placed in court. I haven't seen them. I've not seen any. So my appeal, if I were, and which I am behind, I'm saying I'm a public defense prosecutor. I'm a public defense lawyer. Defense public for the voiceless of international law. So my appeal will point out in this August 2026, I will frame it around 4 points. And I will not frame it to challenge. If you challenge the court has said it met the standards. I'm now challenging around proceedings. I'll do proceedings rather than treating the original conviction. Mark that as still pending. No, conviction is there. I want to look at the method. Cases are not won by challenging the main case. I am not this. No. We want to challenge. I'm coaching. Lawyer, listen to me. Proceed. If you have gone to fish and you poison the fish on the way, then bring it for people to eat. That's the proceedings. I want to find out how we reached here. How did we reach here? The original conviction came because it was wrongly got through the bad and the fake evidence. You see, logic. You can see where this Ugandan guy is going. That's it. See me? I'm not joking on that. How did we reach there? You don't tell me we are here already. We feel you are convicted. You are no. How did we reach here? I've given you the background. There was already violence from 2016. Mr. Simon was working with the army in Finland. He was not there, but the violence was there. Nowhere in this court has the court brought. It even says itself, the prosecutor says, he has difficulties even to find some of this evidence, intelligence convincing. Then how did you come to a conclusion to detain a man? Let's move on. The 4 ways I will challenge this under submission as a public defense, legal expert, lawyer for the public is this. The legal test for the court. The legal test for the court. My fellow Africans and the globe watching, those who will pick, if you have any problem with international law, call me. From my corners, Dr. David Nyekorat Matsanga, the defense should put the prosecution to 4 separate questions. Question number 1, and mark the question. You also at home do some brain talking. What exactly was the prohibited conduct? What was the prohibited conduct in this case? What was it? I don't see it. I've looked at the laws of Finland since I was here. I've been going quietly. Some people show me the library and I stick there. What was the prohibited conduct? The prosecution has not and did not and must identify the particular acts attributed to Simon Epa. Please, don't tell stories. Not merely acts committed by unidentified zygotes. Sorry to use that name. Armed groups, imaginary, fake ones. They were there. They have killed more people before. In 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20. They are there. All persons in Nigeria like Abubakar Malami, who himself was a conduit of terrorists. Don't bring that story here. That you tell us that this is the evidence. No. What are the acts attributed to Simon Epa? What? Which one? Did he start this? No. Who started it? Go and ask the government. Why has the government run? Because it cannot explain these circumstances. Hello? The court must distinguish And this is what I'm telling the court. Political advocacy, separatist expression, inflammatory or offensive speech. What is it? Inflammatory or offensive? A man is talking about advocacy for his home, that his people have been killed from 2016. Actually, from 1967. They want to go away. The universal suffrage does not exist. It gives everybody a right to stay where he feels is safe. The guy has been pleading and he started advocacy. These expressions have been there. The Netherlands court, the Finland court. I'm used to Netherlands in the ICC. That's why. The Finland court must distinguish between advocacy for civil resistance, actual incitement to a specific criminal act. They didn't tell me. I didn't see anything coming out of the prosecution. Participation in a terrorist group. I didn't see. Which one is a terrorist created by the same Nigerian people? Nigeria itself created a terrorist unit of jihadis coming down to kill the people in Southeast and then blame it on other people when they were caught. And there several times people were caught. There are exhibits. The defense in court will bring that out. Participation in a terrorist group and directing, financing, or material supporting criminal activity. Criminal activity could, which one? If someone's YouTube pays, if this case could be maybe charge this gentleman for not having paid your tax for YouTube. But everybody, you were speaking to everyone can speak. I'm now speaking and this thing is all over the whole world. I'm not telling people in Indonesia, Jakarta to pick up arms. No. You must distinguish. Incitement to an offense with a terrorist participation in a terrorist group. Surely, Finnish prosecutors themselves described this case. In the court, I heard the prosecutor said the case as concerning public incitement to an offense with terrorist intent and participation is in a terrorist group. They found described as the case concerning public incitement. So let me ask one thing. Where is the public incitement? Which public was incited? Which public was incited? The public in Nigeria was already charged before Simon from 2016. He never incited them. He never. They have been killing from 2016. The Finnish court must find out who was killing people before. If they were there, did they see anybody? Did they report? Did they see Simon there on the ground thing? The Strasbourg court can not go deeper, but the Strasbourg court also examines, and let me be very honest, it examines what was actually said. Its contest, its intended forcible effect, the connection with violence, the speaker's role, Simon's role, and the proportionality of the criminal sanction given to Simon, because they have to examine that. Therefore, the question can simply be, did Mr. Simon Epa say the things that were extreme? To who? To the Finnish people or Nigerian people? How many people in Nigeria were injured by the words that he said? Bring them. Don't just say, this happened. Where is the evidence? We know, we have already established that evidence was corrupted. It must be, and this is it, the particular statements relied upon? This is the big question now. Did the particular evidence, particular statements rely upon by the prosecution objectively and subjectively satisfy the Finnish statutory definition of public incitement to an offense with terrorist intent? Jesus Christ. Let me remove my glasses. Oh, no. I will eat this one. Did all this material, did they certify the intended, relied on statements that were fake, and subjectively certified the Finnish statutory definition of public incitement to an offense with terrorist intent? Surely. The distinction is fundamental. Very big one. The Article 6 and 10 intersection. From my point of view, a stronger appeal formulation would therefore be, has the state demonstrated by evidence capable of being properly tested by the defense that the particular conduct attributed personally to Simon Epa fulfilled every constituent element of the Finnish terrorism offenses beyond the required criminal standards, and the resulting conviction was under which the resulting condition was reached through proceedings compatible with Article 6 and 10 of the European Convention on Human Rights. That's it. That's it, Matsanga. Then I can break as a defense public voiceless for the voiceless in the world. I break this into 7 parts. Attribution. The defense lawyer asked the prosecution, where's the attribution? What precisely did Simon Epa personally do or say, which has hurt the Finnish? Because let's not talk about Nigeria, because it's not in court. So it's a mistake we are making. We are harassing. Simon did not incite any Finnish national to come up and go and fight in Nigeria. The Nigerians have not come to verify, to satisfy the court that indeed his statements were able. The government has not sent even a lawyer. Attribution. In law, we have what we call actus reus. Actus reus. Did that conduct constitute the prohibited Finnish offense? Actus reus. Google it. I read it. Mens rea. The mens rea. Or mens rea. Mens rea was the requisite terrorist intent, knowledge proved, as the prosecution proved that there was some terrorist connections here. When you don't know how many people were on the ground, when the war started in 2016, you allege it on the person who never was there. Evidence, no causation or linkage. Where's the linkage here? Who is the whole thing here? Who is the accuser? Nigerian government or the Finnish government? If it's the Finnish government, what law was broken in Finland? That is it because of broadcasting? Find the man with Finland Revenue Authority, and he pays and he goes home. Was there sufficient evidence connecting the conduct to criminal activity relied upon? Ladies and gentlemen, it's serious. It's very serious. You don't see any link. You don't see any linkage, any causation. evidence? Was the evidence reliable, disclosed, and capable of effective challenge? No. Article 6. Did the defense have genuinely fair opportunity to contest the prostitution case in the other court? No. Article 10. Was the restriction on expression prescribed by law directed to the legitimate aim necessary and proportionate to the international standards? No. The court in Europe, or this court in here, in Lati, terrorism case law specifically recognizes that the counterterrorism means must still cooperate within the convention. Whether it is a terrorist offense, you must operate within the convention that has guaranteed, including fair trial and the freedom of expression protections. My key point for the defense would be, therefore, terrorism cannot be established merely by association, political disagreement, inflammatory rhetoric, geographical proximity to violence, or fake intelligence assertions gathered by Nigeria. The prosecution must prove the statutory offense as charged, and the court must explain convincingly how the evidence established each constituent element. That is the point which an appeal can move from political argument, and this was a political trial in the other court. Let's not make it a political trial here. To a much stronger legal argument, the conviction does not satisfy the requirements of a legality, proof, attribution, the fair trial, and the proportionality, and the Finnish law and the convention. That's it. Take home points for the appeal. That's the elephant in the house. The court failed to identify precisely what statement of communications it relied on. When was it made? It failed completely. To whom was it directed? What exactly did it encourage? Was the encouraged conduct itself terrorism offense? What evidence connects the accused to the relevant conduct? Did the communication satisfy every statutory element? No. Was the interpretation consistent with freedom of expression? No. I therefore state and affirm that the court cannot simply move from political speech of separatism, fake violence, somewhere in Nigeria, not in Vienna, not in Helsinki or Lati, to fake terrorism conviction. Surely, the appeal court must understand both local and international obligation read together. I believe that before sentencing or before any other statements made out of this appeal, any person whose case arises from political movement or democracy concerning the political status of a people, any European judge should therefore examine and complete human rights framework. This human rights framework were not completed in the lower court. Freedom of expression, freedom of peaceful assembly, freedom of association, political participation, free elections, non-discrimination, effective remedies, fair trial, necessity and proportionality. I also believe, as Dr. David Matsanga, where relevant, the international law principle of self-determination is concerned, it must be part and parcel of the appeal. The question before the court should never be simply, is this person politically controversial? No. It must be, What specific criminal act has been proved? What convention rights are engaged? And is the state's interference with those rights lawful, necessary, and proportionate in democratic society of Finland? Because Nigeria is not here. And there is no Nigeria that does accept. Nigeria does not accept. Court orders. My Lord, my people, the world at large. A country called Nigeria does not accept, does not recognize court orders. President Stab, you might get this clip. And I want you to listen to me carefully. That if a country cannot accept court orders from other countries in the Commonwealth, in the African Union, saying, return this prisoner, you steal him at night, rendition him. What country were you getting with in marriage, in bed? A banana country cannot be mixed. The Bible says you cannot mix old oil with new oil. No, neither can you put a new patch on an old cloth. How do you mix a civilized democracy of Finland with a banana republic of terrorists, of Fulani jihadists who have bent on killing Christians, even up to now when Simon is in jail? And is this person politically controversial? You can't just ask that. It must be. What specific act has been proved? What convention rights are engaged and in the state interference with those rights, which Finland has done on behalf of Nigeria? Because IPOB is not a terrorist organization in Europe. It has branches all over the whole place. And they are here. They have not... If it is Nigerian law of Sharia law, then it is different. So my Lord, my people in the world watching me, I would present my case. That is where European human rights law begins. Now we begin from here. That's why I've come. That's why I've been sitting here. That's why I've been punching. That's why I've been telling you live from here what I think is correct. It's 1 hour presentation. The European human rights law begins here. That is why Pan-African Forum and Associates, where I am the lead legal expert, which I am the key expert as David Nyekorach Matsanga, I have interest and already prepared my papers to defeat Finland before the 27 judges of Europe, should this court fail to throw out this conviction. You will pay heavily. You will pay me. In fact, I'll go home the richest person one day. Ladies and gentlemen, that is me. And that's my documentation. I myself have done it. And that's the way to reason. I want to thank all of you Biafrans that I'm not here to take part in factions. I want us to have our brothers out. I want them to go home. I want them to be with you. You can ask them questions. What happened to this money? Where did you take this? What did you do with this? I want both Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa to be released. I beg to move. That's my public opinion. I'm an international person, speaks. Some students will quote from what I have done. My paper will be pinned on my Twitter account. Anybody can refer to the clauses that I've done. Thank you very much, and God bless you all the time. Thank you. I want to thank everybody who has been listening across the world. The weather here is half, the beat during daytime. So if you open outside, it looks like, and it is sadness that has brought us to this type of weather. We would all be in the savannas in Africa. And that is what I believe is I am here for.
Well, you have seen it. You can see the joyful smiles from the Biafrans' faces. That is a significant evidence that Biafrans are defeating the Nigeria and the Finland and the enemies of Biafra completely. So, is there any doubt for you to keep that thing that we are not winning? Stop panicking. Biafra has gone globally. On 20th of this month, which is on Thursday, we go again. So, be rest assured that after the end of the whole tunnel, we must defeat and be triumphant and have every reason to celebrate. Like I always said, victory is sure. Who am I? I'm only a messenger. If you find this video very helpful, please don't forget to touch and have a subscribe button, like and turn on the notification bell, so that whenever we upload a new video like this, you'll be the first person to be notified. And in doing that, you're encouraged to do more, because togetherness we shall achieve Biafra in peace. United we stand and divided we fall. Biafra must come in our own time.